Touchdown Tampa Bay. You're listening to the PewterCast.
Welcome to the PewterCast live, talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling up to North Carolina on a 7-hour delay, but it didn't matter because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you know what they decided to do this week, folks? Kind of like me, they decided to show up. And win big, 46-23. I am Brent Allen, your host. That's my good friend right over there, Ren Daxt. Ren.
Am I looking at you?
These shows so much better.
Am I looking at you? Or am I looking the wrong way?
You are looking the wrong way.
Okay. There we go.
Yes, turn the other way. There you go.
Okay. Now I know. Yeah, I mean, like I've always said, get Antonio Brown involved in this offense and we'll win some games.
Yeah. Well, like I've been saying, give Rojo 20 freaking touches no matter what, and we're going to win some games. Rojo, 24 touches today.
Yeah.
Only one of them was a pass.
Yeah.
20. He was this close to 200 yards. I mean, he was 2 yards shy of 200 yards. That's good night.
Yeah. Hey, look, don't look now, but we have a Christian McCaffrey type back in Tampa Bay.
Yeah. I like it. Well, I don't know if I'd go that far yet with Rojo, but man, that's the kind of run, that Rojo run.
You mean future Ring of Honor player, Ronald Jones?
Future Ring of Honor. Oh, I'm not quite there yet.
No, but you know what? We've both been saying, like, because the 3 times where he got where they made him, well, I shouldn't say that, where he had to carry the rushing game when Fournette and Shady were both out. He ran for 300 yards 3 weeks in a row. Yeah. Then Fournette comes back and they keep cutting into his touches. And then today they try to cut into his touches, but they made him keep him out there, even with the fumble. Like, I thought we weren't going to see Rojo till like the Rams game, after that first fumble. But they decided to treat him like all the other players who make mistakes, and it paid off. So yeah, so now that when they feed Rojo the ball 20 times or more, he's got 500 yards in 4 games, and the Bucs are 4-0 this year.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I mean,
listen, and if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes, and freaking just do it.
Probably 600 yards.
Yeah, it's probably close. Well, Ren, I'd like to give a quick shout out and say hello to everyone who is joining us live out here at. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Periscope, Twitter, the PewterCast.live. Or to the many thousands of you that will listen to the downloaded podcast audio feed later. Hello to all of you guys. We are here talking about this game. In just a few moments, we're going to open up the phone lines. We'll also open up the video chat. You guys can join us one way or the other. We'll drop those in the chat room over there, and you guys can jump in. But Ren, but before we do it, I know we've just been talking about it a little bit, but take me through it. Take me through your side. I know you were with the Collide Party app today quite a bit.
Yep.
But talk us through, your views of this. I don't know if it's fair to call this a shellacking, but this was a bounce back game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, especially coming off last week.
Yeah, big time. A little scary at first, right?
Yeah.
Defense couldn't stop the Panthers. Panthers come out and go 3 and out, and then I think they scored every time touched the ball for the rest of the first half, except for when they got it with 30 seconds left.
Right.
And ended up going 17-17. Weren't seeing a lot of man-to-man. Weren't seeing a lot of blitzes. We're seeing the Panthers run the ball between the tackles and around the end, getting to the edge and keeping it 2nd down and short and 3rd down and short. And then, Carlton Davis got beat over the top and he got hurt. And the next play, whoever that ex-Panther was, Rockwell, James Rockford Files. Yeah, he got erased from the face of the planet. He got contied, and it's like, man, this isn't, okay, well, at least we're scoring. Okay, so this might be a 42, 45 game. Let's this is going to be a tough one. We knew it was going to be a tough one. We did. The Panthers are playing way better than their record, and then the second half happened, and they can't, Todd Bowles started bringing some more offense. Of course, the huge play of getting it 2-for-1, even though it was a field goal to start the second half, ending the half with a touchdown, getting the field goal besides that 30-second penalty, time that the Panthers had the ball. So getting a 2-for-1 there, then getting an immediate 3-and-out, and then getting pinned back on the 1. It was like, okay, 3-and-out. And I put it in the Collide app. I was like, okay, like just flip the field. This is what you have to do. You got to get a couple of first downs, get it out to the 30, 35, flip the field, make them go the distance. And a fan that goes by of the name G in the chat, the live chat, said Ronald Joe's 99 yards, like during the commercial break after the punt. And lo and behold, if you say that every time the ball's on the 1, you might be right once. And he nailed it. So, and then after that, the Bucs, even though
here he is right here. G Vegas.
Yep, that's him.
What up, Brenton Wren called the Rojo touchdown run.
Yeah, man, he called it. Thanks for joining us in the Collide live chat. But after that, it was kind of smooth sailing, honestly. Started bringing some more of those exotic blitzes with that touchdown run, and it was almost like a back-to-back. It was back-to-back scoring, but it was touchdown. Didn't get a first down. Halftime. Field goal, didn't get a first down, touchdown. Now the Panthers got to start throwing the ball. And when they do that, Bowles started, dialing up some of those more exotic blitzes, using their speed off the edge and up the middle with White and David. And the defense, played the best we've seen them play in, 11, 12 quarters?
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Speaking of the defense, right? It's been no secret here over the last, I'd say at least a couple of games. A lot of Bucs fans have been giving Todd Bowles a lot of flack for how he's been having the team play off the ball, because that's not how this defense plays defense. It was just not how we do it. He was getting a lot of that crap in the first half of this game as well,
because that's what they were doing.
What they were doing. I'm not saying that he did it for the previous games to set up for this game, because that would be ridiculous.
Yes, it would. But
is there something to him doing that a little bit earlier in this game to set it up for not being like that in the second game? Or was this just, do you think, completely an adjustment they made at halftime, and turns out it worked? So why the hell would we ever go back to the other way?
I think my best guess is that they know that the tougher games down the road, when I'm talking about playoffs, it really helps if you can get home with 4. Like that really helps. Now, even though they're still first in the league against the run total yards, for what we were used to before Vita Vea going out, we're like no one getting like a 5-yard gain. Like that was the outlier. Now that seems to be the norm. But so if they could get home with 4 and play zone, and they think that's a good matchup going into that week, like, okay, we could do this. We could be more aggressive, maybe possibly get burnt. We'll definitely get home more. But I think against sort of our matchups along the front, we can get home with 4, and we'll play zone behind eventually to win some of these games against better teams. And so I think, kind of that's what it is. But I thought he adjusted quicker this week than he had in past weeks to do it. So I'm not sitting here saying that it's, they set it up for this week, or they're not playing their best defense because they're not trying to put it on tape. I'm just saying is that they're practicing some things that they're going to need later on in the season against live bullets.
Right.
So that's a tough one for me. It's kind of like why you get away from what you're doing well. But if later on, you're going to have to be able to do this and do it at a better level than you're doing it now. When else, you can't do it against practice and just show up, week 1 wild card game and hope it works. Like you got to get some reps against some live bullets, and people don't know it's coming. So that's where I would be on that. So it was just a nice win overall, man. It was good to have sort of a game where, like the Raiders game where it was over by halftime or right after, by the fourth quarter, it was over. And we're like, okay, this is all right. I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. Go Bucs. Just like I always said, offensive juggernaut.
Sure. I want to switch topics real quick before we open up the phone lines, but I want to discuss this with you. Bucs fans for weeks and we on this show included, have been clamoring for Mike Evans to get more touches. And there's
targets.
Or targets. Yeah, that's what I mean. Targets. He's clamoring for him to get more targets.
Right.
Finally got him this game.
Yeah.
He got 11 targets. Now,
last time he targeted that much was against the Panthers. So
was it
too comfortable
all the way back then? Wow.
Week 2.
So here's I just want to point this out. Chris Godwin had 6 targets, 6 receptions tonight. Antonio Brown had 8 targets, 7 receptions. Gronk had 3 targets, 2 receptions. Brait went 3 for 3. Mike Evans had 11 targets, but he only had 6 receptions.
Yeah.
Now he still had 77 yards. He had a touchdown. He got a little bit of yak. Got a 22-yard reception, which I think included some extra yardage there. Obviously, we know Mike Evans is not known for the extra yardage there at the end, but
not quite the runner of the football in open space. As
right. And there were times that even though Brady targeted Mike a little bit more, or a lot more in this particular game, they still didn't seem to be in lockstep, and I think that would bear it out. 11 targets for 6 receptions. Is there like I don't know. I don't really have a question. I'm just sort of
like why?
Yeah, like he got all these receptions.
Why is everyone else's complete? Yeah. Why is everyone else's completion percentage so high? Right. I think Tom Brady hates Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Or no. Okay. This is what I'm investigating, and my findings won't come out for another 2 weeks. We're still sorting through the data. But Tom Brady hates tattoos and Harry Potter, and Mike Evans has Harry Potter tattoos.
That's okay.
I've got some people lined up. I'm trying to get them on. They won't go on record.
Right.
I know what the story is. But they won't go on record. So I can't. You can't
publish it. You don't have the source minimum.
It's Watergate, man. I got to find somebody to talk. Right now it's just all speculation. I can't print it.
Let this be a lesson to you folks out there.
Don't watch Harry Potter. Oh.
All right, Red. Well, with that, while we go and open the phone lines, we'll let people call in. You guys can do it. That phone number is 864-729-BUCKS. That's 864-729-2827. Or for those of you who are joining us live in the chat, you can just click that little link that just popped up down there. I don't think you have to click. I think you got to copy and paste it into your browser, and you guys can join us here on the show. We will take you guys in order as we get you. Please remember, with the phone line, we only have one phone line. So if somebody's on hold, you're just going to have to wait till after we hang up the phone with them and then call back in, and we'll take the next one. But we'll be here with you guys. But you guys go ahead and do that with us right now. You can call in 864-729-BUCKS. That's 864-729-2827. Ren,
yes,
we do have somebody who has already joined us here in the video chat, and
I see his ceiling fan making me want to vomit.
Yep. So we'll see if we can get him in here.
Vertigo. Yeah. There he is.
There he is. Okay. Well, we'll stop talking. John Relios joining us in here. What's going on, John?
Hey, nothing much, guys.
Man, you're looking much more chipper this week.
Yeah, it's like a win makes everything feel better,
Yeah. Can everyone keep their job this week, John?
Yeah. They actually they did their job, so they keep their jobs.
Okay, good. Okay. So what'd you see out there?
First things first, honestly, I like AQ Sipley and Ryan Jensen. That was not bad. That wasn't that bad. I like it. I don't hate it.
Do you want to see that over Jensen Marpet or Shipley Marpet?
But if need be, if we have to do it, I don't mind it. I'm not like, oh my God, we're gonna lose. Oh my God, this offensive line is horrible now. Now I'm like, okay, I feel a little bit more confident now if a guy like that goes down.
Gotcha. So if Kappa goes down or Jensen goes down or Marpet stays down, you're okay with the Shipley center, Jensen guard combo?
Yeah, because they worked out pretty well this game.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, the only guy I really seen play some sort of badly on the offensive line was Donovan Smith. He had a couple of bad plays in the game, a couple bad ones I seen. Like Brian Burns beat him, but he overpassed Tom Brady too, so it really didn't matter. But now here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I want to come to a little bit of Donovan's defense, because you're right. There were some times
when I looked up and he was just standing there watching everything else unfold, not doing his job. But there were other times when Donovan, you talk about that idea of going to the echo of the whistle, and Donovan really did it. So I can't give it up to him all the way.
That's why I'm not really giving him much. I was like, he had a couple bad plays, but I'm not giving him dirt. You know, the whole offensive line did well, so I have nothing really much to complain about there. So that's a plus.
There was one play where Kappa got blown up so bad he tackled Fournette.
Yeah, but
yeah, I saw that. And listen, the one sack that we got came off of Jensen, not Donovan Smith.
Yeah.
So Jensen just missed his block, but I'm not going to give Jensen any crap.
Yeah,
I'm not giving Jensen any crap,
and he hasn't done that forever.
But I'll tell you this: that 98-yard run that Rojo popped was off of a Jensen block.
Yeah.
That was 100. I can't say it was all Jensen because Rojo did the work, but that would not have happened if Ryan Jensen didn't get into that second level and take care of that block out there to let Rojo go free.
You know what? I was thinking about this today before the game. Thinking about how they need to give Rojo the ball more, and I don't understand why they keep giving Jensen the ball and all that, Fournette the ball and all that. And I was thinking about all the things the coaching staff keeps saying about Ronald Jones that we just don't see all the time or ever.
Mm-hmm.
And one was that breakaway speed. So when he outran everybody, Chin gained on him a little bit, and then the gaining stopped. And right when Rojo started to pull away, Chin saw it and made a ditch effort and dove. So that was really nice to see that Rojo just didn't get caught from behind.
And speaking of Rojo, he had a really good game. Especially bounced back. After that fumble on the first possession, really bounced back.
Mm-hmm.
And Bruce Arians, credit to him and the crew, they didn't put him in the doghouse.
Mm-mm.
They didn't punish him,
right.
and they let him eat. They let him eat, and he ate 192 yards. And now he's forever etched. Right now, he's etched in Buccaneers record history.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, bro. Good job.
Time to take James Wilder's. Oh, he's not in the Ring of Honor. Oh well,
he'll get there. Hey, I want to talk about the super chat that we just got in here. Talking about the play calling. Brian says play calling was actually really good this game and gives him more confidence in the coaching staff going forward. Ren, I actually want to get your take on this first.
Sure.
Definitely, this was something I wanted to talk about from the top of the show. I just figured it would come up at some point. Play calling's been another. We talked about Todd Bowles, how he's been getting it from Bucs fans. Byron Leftwich has been getting it for 2 years from Bucs fans for the play calling. Yeah. How'd you feel about it in this game?
Well, where they put up 46 points. What do you?
Yeah.
What is there to complain about?
Right.
Every time someone
210 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
Now 98 of that was still off one play, but still.
Yeah. Well, but who's to say they didn't get 50, 60 yards off that drive if they did it traditional way?
Right.
On the ground, I'm saying. So, anybody who says to me, I don't go out and look for it on Twitter, but everyone talks about the play calling. I'm like, they have at the time they had the most points scored and they were third in points per game. And the reason they weren't first because some teams had played less games and that type of deal. Then the Saints game happened, and I kind of had no bullets that week. I'm like, okay,
right.
The play calling was terrible. It was the whole thing was terrible. The game plan was terrible. The calling was terrible. The defense was terrible. The defensive scheme was terrible. And they got into a position where they had to, just basically abandon the running game. People were like, you got to run it more than 5 times the kneel down. Well, yeah, but you also got to not be down 28-0 by the time you get a first down. Mm-hmm. There's these, you got to look, you got to ask yourself why. Byron Leftwich knows he can't win a game running the ball 4 times. I know that. You know that.
Right.
My cat knows that. So, it's not, he didn't do it on purpose. So why did it happen? But then he kind of get back on the train here. And it's like with any call in baseball or football or basketball, if a coach designs up and mocks up this play, it happens in football, obviously on every play, and it works, it's what a great play call. If it doesn't, it's, God, that was a terrible play call. So I can understand where people are coming from with know,
Tim Cass pulling up Blake Snell in the World Series. You know, so it may have been a good call. You know, if it worked out, but it didn't work out, it was a bad call. You know, it's like, hey, you know,
that was going to be a bad call either way. That's
Yeah.
going to go.
Well,
That's going to go down in history as like
time,
the
but
meltdown.
in the conference finals in the ALCS, he did that and it worked out. So
yeah, but even if it did work out, people were like, "Why take the chance?" I mean, there's, I don't really want to get into it, but when someone's having that type of day, like, you keep giving them the ball. That's why Rojo kept getting the ball, because he was having that type of day. So
he could have got 200. God dang it! They should have run him running. Get him 200.
So I understand where people are coming from, and I get it. And I do get frustrated. When they run it between the tackles on first down, which is something they don't do anymore. I never understand why it's third and less than 10, and you run more than one person that's not a running back shorter than the sticks. I don't get that type of calling, but everybody in the league does that type of deal. We saw it on that's how the Bucs got 3 and out the very first drive. It was like 3rd and 6, and Robbie Anderson runs a 4-yard crossing route. He catches it. Levante David comes up, makes a tackle. It's like, just run 6 yards. Like, I don't get that kind of stuff. But that's what I would say. Was it, look how many points the Bucs are scoring, and look where they are in points per game average. And not every play is going to go 99 yards for a touchdown. Because that wasn't a great play call. It was the book. He ran it right off. Run it right off the center's ass. That's what we're going to do. Right. 3 years ago, they did that. Howley got Haley, George, the center with the big beard.
Yeah, Josh Hawley.
Josh
Hawley. Yeah, he got folded and it was a safety. They run the same play 3 years later. It goes 99 yards. Like, got to execute.
Yeah, I get it. All right, John, you got anything else for us tonight, buddy?
Really off defense. They even though they did start to struggle. In the after struggle a little bit in in the first half, they really picked it up in the second.
They did.
They really did. And even in the first half, they one of the touchdowns was due to short fieldage. So due to a fumble. So you can't. They honestly didn't have that bad of a game. They had a couple misplays, but overall they had a good game. They had a good game. So not a bad game by the defense. So yeah,
I'm not going to complain when the offense starts inside the 30 once and then at the 3-yard line twice, and that's 14 of the 26 points you gave up. Or excuse me, 13 because they missed a 2-point conversion. So 13 of the points. So you just can't. You can if you want to. Just don't do it to me.
Right.
Yeah, it's really hard to do that. It's really hard to defend against that short fieldage.
Yeah, big bounce back game for the offense and defense.
Yeah,
makes you feel good as a Bucs fan. Not spiraling the drain anymore.
I really got that taste of the Saints game out of my mouth. And it was nice too because they swept us, but then we swept another divisional rival. So
we got one more divisional rival where we still have both games available. So
did you hear that stat today where Brady's never lost 3 division games? Ever.
Yeah, they talked about that.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we picked the Falcons now, so they're I don't know what's going on with them. So
they're gonna be James just like this. I don't mean they're gonna be like the first half. These gonna be hard games, man. The Falcons can score, and they've won like 3 out of 4.
I just don't know what to do now. I just don't know anything about their head coach now since they fired Dan Quinn.
You don't know who Raheem Morris is?
Yeah. Raheem Morris?
Yeah.
Our guy?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that guy! Oh my God, was he back? Wasn't he like coach back in like 2011?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that guy! Oh.
Yeah. John's having a revelation live on air right now, folks. Right now.
God. So, and then we went to Greg Schiano. Then we went to Lovie Smith, and then we went to Dirk Cutter. And now Bruce Arians.
Yeah,
that's the guy.
John, I'm gonna let you go and let you dwell on that.
You work through your feelings for a little bit.
Yeah, call us back next week, and we'll see how you're doing with that realization.
We're gonna win both of them. He's trash.
There you go. Thanks, John. We'll talk to you next week, pal. Oh my gosh, guys, phone line's open. Anybody wants to call in 864-729-BUCS. That's 864-729-2827. Or you guys click that link and we'll get you guys in here. You guys can come join us and come talk to us.
I want to answer a question in chat real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Buck Squad podcast. If Saints lose today, we're on top of the division, right? Incorrect. Since we got swept by the Saints, if we have the same record as them, they get the first tiebreaker. So that's why it was such a big game against the Saints. Basically, It gave them, even though we're only down a game, it really gave them a 2-game lead because we have to be up, by if they tie a game or, we tie a game and have less losses, then that half game counts. But realistically, we have to have a game lead on the Saints because if we end the season with the same record, the very first tiebreaker, the Saints get it because they swept us.
Mm-hmm.
The end. Everyone knows that.
There you go. Ren, we got somebody who wants to join us. Actually, a couple good friends of ours.
Best buds.
From across the pond.
Shared many brews together.
There you go.
Across
What's
the bar.
going on, guys? UK Bucs from the UK Bucs podcast. Gentlemen, welcome back to the PewterCast. You got us? Uh-oh, they're trying to fix it. Oh, no. They dropped us. They'll be back. They'll be back in just a moment. Listen, talking internationally, you can't blame anything for what happens there. So they'll come back. But hey, you guys want to join in? Please do that. Ren.
Somebody explain to Bucs Squad that the Saints have had their bye. Sorry.
The Saints have had their bye. Yeah, we have not. Our bye comes up in 2 weeks, I think.
Week 13, I believe it was. Last you can do it.
Yeah.
Last week you can have a bye
so
week.
we have this was week 10, so we've got 2 more weeks and then they come in. So I mean, Ren had a good offensive showing today.
We did.
Had a good defensive showing today.
We did.
Let's talk special teams.
Why?
Not our strongest.
Haven't been for years. Haven't been since. Never have been. Haven't been before Armstrong got here. Haven't been since Armstrong got here.
Yeah.
I remember me and you sitting in that fan event.
Uh-huh.
And Armstrong going, we're going to be aggressive and we're going to be this. And I was just like,
friends like, bullshit.
And we'll see. I mean, I hear that every year. And they're terrible. Like I told when I was on a Panthers pod this week, I told them, I'm like run out every kick because they don't even set up to try to stop you until the 25. So all you do is fall forward and you're already plus yardage than you would have been.
Uh-huh.
And then, the punt return that almost went for a score. Like it's our punt coverage isn't great. Anybody that's, kind of quote unquote had sort of a guy that can hurt you back there has not with a big run like that, but like every time they catch it and try to make a move, first, second guy missed, third guy misses, they end up getting 7, 8 yards, 10 yards, 12 yards. It's not good. And it hasn't been. And I'm just, I'm going to play ostrich on that. I'm going to bury my head in the sand. Like I will talk about the special teams playoff week. And talk about how much I'm worried about that. Because that's when it only really matters. That's unfair. But that's when it can swing a game. And if it swings the game, your season's over.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If we play, who we play next? Is it the Rams?
Yes. Monday Night Football.
We play the Rams on Monday Night Football and we lose the Rams on a special teams play. It sucks. Should have won the game. But we have more chances after that.
Right.
Like nothing infuriates a fan base more than losing, like your whole season's over because of a blocked punt or, just something, or somebody returns, like, oh, we're up by 4 with, minute 50 left and you kick it off and the guy returns it down to your 20.
Yeah.
Like that's the worst.
Yeah.
So I'm not really going to talk about this. You want to talk about the special teams?
No, I mean, you covered it when you said the special teams have been awful around here for years and they continue to be awful.
Mm-hmm.
We had a blocked, I think it was a field goal, or extra point. We had a blocked extra point.
Mm-hmm.
And then they whiffed on the one and the guy, didn't he score on that one? Where he returned it? You might not have been around for that one, Ren.
No, he got tackled at 3. That's how they got there. That's how Bridgewater got that 3-yard rushing touchdown.
So he gets tackled there, and it just, I mean,
it's just, it's hard to watch.
It is.
And so instead of like trying to dissect it, because I'm not a special teams expert. Not that I'm a offense defensive expert, but I actually pay attention, and you can see what's going on the screen. On special teams. Most of the time you're only got like 2 guys in the picture.
Right.
So you can't really break down what's going on. And even if I have the ability to do all 22, but I'm not going to go do it to go talk about Armstrong's punt coverage because I don't care.
Fair enough. Well, Ren, we got a phone call. Let's find out who we got on the line here with us. You are live with us at the PewterCast Live with Brent and Ren. Who do we got here on the line with us?
What's up, Ren? This is G Vegas.
G Vegas, what's up,
G
buddy?
Vegas, Nostradamus, you mean?
Yeah, yeah, that was like I feel like a road run for that 99 or 98 yards, and then as soon as he was breakaway, I was jumping up and down. And my kids were like cheering along too. So it was pretty good, time to watch that.
Yeah, good moment. What do you got for us?
I want to bring up how about that? Shipley did a great job going in as the center, having Jensen move over the guard because I didn't see Shipley he held his own and he had his snaps really good on the shotgun.
Yeah, that's a little bit what John talked about Shipley doing well and it wasn't a liability. Jensen moving over guard wasn't a liability. And that's something that ran through my mind, but I really wasn't going to bring it up. But since you did, so far from what we've seen, Shipley snaps are more accurate than Jensen's have been. But of course, the sample size is so much smaller.
So much smaller, right?
So, but do we want to get into the conversation of what Shipley brings to the offensive line compared to what Ryan Jensen brings to the offensive line? Because I don't think, or when Marpet comes back, do you sit Kappa?
No, I think,
we're not there yet, right?
Yeah. My opinion, and again, the sample size is so small that I have no way of making this an accurate assessment.
Well, he's 100%.
It's true. But so is that guy who got one catch today, and that's the only catch he's ever received in the NFL.
Right. Hall of Fame numbers. Never dropped the ball.
Exactly.
Caught every ball thrown to me.
No, here's the thing. I think Shipley was a better fill-in and placeholder at center than Joe Haig was at guard.
Yes,
so
exactly.
I would rather have Jensen and Marpet. And I'm fine with the right side of the line. I don't want to mess with that. Leave Kappa, leave Wirfs. Yeah. We want to do something in the offseason. Maybe we look at moving Wirfs over. Fine. But for right now, I'm great with that being over there. I don't want to touch that. I would rather have a Shipley Jensen combination out there than a Jensen Haig combination. But when Marpet comes back, then no, it's Jensen and it's the other guy, Marpet. It's Jensen and Marpet when they come back. I don't think there's any changing on that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with sort of like what John would said was like, if anybody, the interior linemen go down, I'm okay with Shipley playing center and moving Jensen to right or left guard, and I won't have to worry about it now going forward. Yeah,
I have much less worries should something happen that we bring in Shipley and shift Jensen out, but my preference would be put Jensen in at center because I think it'd be a huge missing Jensen. Not only the tangibles of what he brings to the offensive line out there when he's actually doing his job, but also the intangibles of what he brings as well, which is what we've been missing from Marpet. So, yeah.
I'm with you.
Vegas, what do you?
Yeah, I totally agree. I'd much rather have Shipley and Jensen combo than Jensen and Haig. Ryan Jensen did very well for the most part as a guard, except for that one sack he gave up. But other than that, it was nice for him to step up, helping his team out. Because I can't be a guard. I'm a center, but he moved to guard to help out the team, which is nice.
Yeah, true. Or we just don't know about it.
I like it.
He might have bitched and moaned all week.
There you go. G, you got anything else for us before we let you go, pal?
I just want to talk one thing about the defense real quick.
Yeah, man.
It seems like the only thing that the defense really needs is JPP to step up. If he has a bad game, it seems like the entire defense has a bad game. And when he's on, this defense just forces 3 and outs, just like they did in the second half.
That's interesting. Do you think it's because of the position he plays, or do you think it's because of his leadership? And when your leader's playing well, other guys sort of fall in line. Because JPP, we found that out last year. Like, he became one of the leaders in the locker room on the defensive side of the ball very quickly. So which one do you think? It's just like, if he's having a good game because his position's so important, then the defense has a good game? Or is it he's having a good game and that kind of, rising tide lifts all boats?
I think it's the first one you said.
Yeah, because being the edge rusher, when the edge rusher has a good game, the defense usually has a better game.
Yeah, because they help secondary.
Yeah, can't argue with it.
I would say both, for the record.
I knew you would.
You knew I would.
Brent, change the question.
No, because it's not an either or. It's both and.
The question was posed as an either or.
Right, but that's the wrong question to ask because it's a both and. So, G-Vegas, man, thank you so much. I'm not going to leave you in the middle of Ren and I on this one, buddy.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you next week, okay?
You guys, peace out.
Thanks, G. Both and. Hey, speaking of which, let's we got another do what?
Nostradamus.
Nostradamus.
I like that better.
There you go. Buck Squad joining the video chat here. What's going on, Buck Squad?
What's going on, guys?
Hello.
Talk to us about it. You look a lot happier now.
Yo, after last week, I think every Bucs fan should be happy about this one, man.
There you go,
one, bro. This was a must. But I had a couple of questions though, guys. I don't want to come off as like an annoying, we after a win say this was wrong and that was wrong. I had a couple of questions on our defense. I felt like we're getting exploited as far as weaknesses go. Number one, I'm gonna start off with Devon White. Now he's an awesome player, man. I love Devon White. When we drafted him, I was like one of the few people in my surrounding squad that was actually happy about it. They didn't think we should take a linebacker that early, but I loved him. His pass coverage, man, like it's like, dude,
it's
he's
non-existent.
like a 4-4. Yeah, it's crazy to me. Like, how is this possible? And he's so fast. You know what I mean? Like, he's so quick twitch. I just don't get that. Like, what do you guys think? Do you see that?
Oh yeah. Like are you aware of Rick Stroud's Sports Day Tampa Bay podcast?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. He does a mailbag, and I asked him that question. I'm like, when the Bucs go nickel, they run basically a 2-4. Like, is it time to keep, kind of like do a traditional, like they take out a guy had their hand in the dirt in the interior line so they can keep Levante David and both Devon White. And I'm like, teams are starting to find it. The Giants did it, then the Saints did it, and they're making Levante David turn his back and run, and they're making like Devon White cover zone or man, doesn't matter. Whoever he's covering, just throw it to him because he's going to be open. Exactly. And I asked Rick, I'm like, is it time to go back to a traditional nickel defense, or is it time to at least start to rotate Devon White and Levante David on and off the field so they can both get reps?
Exactly.
And Stroud said that with Devon White's speed, all the mistakes that he erases, it isn't worth it. I don't agree with that assessment. But I don't want to take that speed off the field either. I really don't. And kind of what I talked about earlier about, playing zone, and they're going to need it later down the road as they fight for games to make the playoffs. And in the playoffs, he's got to learn it. He's got to learn it. Levante Dave's not going to be there forever. Like, he's going to be the guy. Like, it's like with Jameis. Like, he has to learn to take care of the ball. Like, he can't learn it sitting on the bench. So, but yeah, he couldn't cover, I don't know, a picnic table with a checkered blanket. I don't know, like whatever. Throw in your little Mark Twainism there. But yeah, he's it's been rough lately.
My God. All right. Well, one last weakness I want to point out. I'm gonna hop off. I know you guys are busy. I'm a big fan, by the way.
Thank you.
Jamel Dean, man. Like, what? Why? I feel like every single game now, it's like he gets juked on the freaking either a double move or, just like a misdirection play.
Yeah, he's having a bad run. He's having look. I can't say nobody's been a bigger fan of Jamel Dean than I've been, but I've been one of the biggest. I've been one of the biggest, and he's had a rough couple of like a rough run of games. And Ren probably knows better than I do to go back and pinpoint where it might have started, but it's been more than 3 now. I feel.
I can pinpoint exactly where it started.
Where?
When everyone started calling for him to start on the outside and keep SMB, only coming in a nickel. And as soon as they did that, teams started picking on him right away. So it's one of those things. He might be like the super sub, but instead of the super sub nickel, he's a super sub outside guy. And SMB can just be sort of the other side that might not be as talented as Dean, but he's plays smarter than Dean. But we'll see. They're all really young, but yeah, it's a little frustrating, even though it's a little bit unfair to expect all these guys to get it right away. Kind of like how a lot of us sort of wrote off Mike Edwards, who's been playing very well this year in his spot duties, to be honest. When SMB and Dean took off so fast, out of the same draft class. Mm-hmm. So I still think it's the move because of Dean's size and speed is to start him on the outside. But yeah, that's when it started, is when he was in there every single play. Team started picking on. Well, I mean, that was the Giants game in a nutshell. Who's like is Devon White coverage? No. Then who's Dean covering? Like that was their game plan.
Right.
It almost worked. So yeah, best I can say, no one's perfect and they're young and they're working on it. But I think that I think they got the skills. I think they're really good draft picks. Even especially where Dean was drafted at. But it's not as bad as we've seen recently with Grimes or Hargraves. So, it's kind of unfair to have like a Pro Bowler at every position.
Right.
That's a good point.
Right.
I'll take the Hargraves point and I'll take that with me.
There you go. All right. You got anything else for us before we let you go?
That's it, man. Go Bucs.
There you go.
Go Bucs.
The goat shirt on. Let's go.
There it
baby.
is.
Oh, I like
there
that.
it is. There it is. I said to my wife at some point, I was like, we've been talking about it on the show, but man, I really see why all those guys love Tom Brady so much. Up in New England. Like it's
you're like, oh, imagine seeing that for 20 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Ren, I want to talk about something real quick, just because I think it's a timely question and a good question. Ryan Griffith in the chat asked, are the Saints that good as they were against us last week, or were we just oddly awful last week? Or are the Panthers terrible? Are the 49ers still kind of good? The Saints are playing the 49ers right now, apparently. And the 49ers are up on them 3-10 or something like that as we're talking in this moment. But what do you think? Okay, so now here we are sitting on the backside of hanging up 46 points against the Panthers after the showing we put out last week.
Yeah.
Is it just an oddball week that needs to be erased and we don't think about it anymore? Or, what's your assessment of
I go back to what Evan Winter said, even though I told him to shut up and he was a dum-dum face. Like I don't really like his stats and everything, but his point was that the Saints kind of have our number. And I think that's it. There are ways that teams are built that have bad matchups, like you play any of those video games where you have you rank up your characters and stuff, and earth beats fire and fire beats wind and wind beats, rain. Like everyone has a weakness. And I just think the way the Saints are built and coached, that, they just have our number right now. It's a bad matchup for the Buccaneers, especially in the trenches. And that's where it shows up the most. I think we're fine. I think we can cover Kamara. I think we can cover the receivers. I don't think we can get to the quarterback. I think our running backs are fine. I think our receivers can get open, but they can't stop their rush. And that's kind of, what happens. And it's been happening. It's happened for all games BA's played against these guys or coached against them.
Yeah. I think last week was
it was worse than normal.
Yeah, that's it. I don't want to say it was an anomaly because there might be something to the idea that the Saints have the Bucs number and it's just a bad set of matchups. But I also think that it was just an anomaly of a week. Yeah. It's not who the Buccaneers are. It's not what an identity for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It was a hurricane's fault.
Oh, there you go. The tropical storm, thunderstorm that rolled over. Well, speaking of a dum-dum face.
Okay.
Let's bring in our next guests. Making it back, and sorry if the connection's spotty, but our friends over at UK Bucs. Gentlemen, welcome back to the show.
Hey guys, good to be with you. Hopefully you can hear me.
Good to have you guys. Yeah, good to have you guys. Talk to us about this game. First of all, what time is it over there where you guys are?
10:15 p.m. So we're 5 hours in front. So
okay, not too bad then.
Not too
late.
Not compared to recent weeks anyway.
Right. Not compared to what next week's going to be for you either.
Yeah.
All right, talk to us about this game, guys. Go ahead.
Guys, just picking up on some of the points you were making there. Great to see a bounce back week, and clearly last week was an anomaly. I think a few of us were worried going into this one that that might be who we are last week, and a bit of concern that we could trip up again this week against a Panthers team that's lost very closely against the Saints and the Chiefs in recent weeks. So a big bounce back week, I think this week, and more like our usual selves over the course of the season so far.
Before you guys continue, is that a Tom Brady jersey you have on?
It is, yeah.
And you live in England, right?
Yeah.
How in the hell did you get a Tom Brady jersey? Like, there's been Buck fans that ordered these the day he signed and still don't have them.
So I ordered originally off the NFL UK shop, and that was just a complete disaster. So I cancelled that and then ordered direct from the Buccaneers.com. The shipping, postage, and packaging was about as much as the cost of the jersey, but it got here within about 7 days. So.
Really?
There you go.
All right. Okay, there you go. Just like everything else in life, you pay for it, you get it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say anything about people who aren't getting jerseys right now who order them, because you go to the stadium and they're full of them. They've got his jersey all over the place. So
all I have to do is fly over here.
There you go.
Get your jersey. What you got, guys? What's going on?
Yeah, I think. Sorry if because the connection's been in and out. Not sure if some people have already covered this stuff, but yeah, I'm sure you guys will tell us. But I think for equal parts frustration, anger, upset as last week, the one thing that we both said all week was how excited we were for how we just knew that Brady, like the difference between having Brady and not having Brady is the excitement of seeing how bad we are and just expecting that he's going to make sure that no matter what, this team's better this week. And I think if nothing else, it shows that this team has the ability to be as bad as they can be and then come back and be good the week after.
You know, I'm glad to hear you say that, because to be frank, I did not have that same confidence.
Right.
I did not have confidence the Buccaneers were going to go out and win.
And why is that?
Win as much as they did. Why is that? Because Ren, I've been covering this team for too long, and I've been a fan of this team for too long.
Ding, ding, ding.
And it's just how things go sometimes. But I am glad that you were right and I was wrong. Now, I wasn't predicting the Buccaneers to lose. Don't get me wrong. I just didn't have a great feeling about it. You know, I sort of entered this game very trepidatious and very just sort of, well, let's see what happens. I'm not really sure. We'll find out. But I'm really glad that the game turned out the way it did, for sure.
But you guys are right. Go ahead.
Go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
And to be fair, that is not a confidence in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as an organization. That is a confidence in Tom Brady. Those are two very distinct levels of confidence.
It's true. And for all the reasons Brent just said, it's absolutely right. Because what Brent's, because I'm a fan of the team. That's why I didn't have any confidence coming in this Panthers game, because, I can't tell you how many times Scott Smith from Buccaneers.com has blown sunshine out my ass after a blowout loss and told me, oh, this happens every week in the NFL. And he's right. And teams bounce back from it every week in the NFL. And he's right. Not the crappy teams. Not us. Not the Browns. Like not the Dolphins. Well, who's bad this year? Not the Jets. You know what I mean? Like not the like. These are the teams that, even though they have a dumpster fire of a game, and you can point to, look, the Steelers bounce back. Oh, look, the Chiefs bounce. You're not the Steelers and the Chiefs, and we never have been, and now we are. And of course, the main reason why is because the dude at quarterback, he doesn't turn the ball over, and he goes to the right place with the ball. And Todd Bowles has decided to actually, not. I don't know. Was he under some kind of? That's why Tom Brady's not throwing to Mike Evans. Mike Evans put a Harry Potter spell on Todd Bowles to only play zone, and Tom found out about it. Breaking news, everyone! Tom Brady busts Mike Evans with an illegal wand using Magic in front of Muggles.
The fact that you know what a Muggle is, Ren, is very impressive. But my question to you
Dude, I've
is,
read all the books.
what is the core of this wand?
Oh, who? Mike Evans' wand?
Yeah. What is the core of his wand?
Is there anything like what drops things a lot or can't run? What can't run? What has legs but can't run? A penguin heartstring.
It's a penguin heartstring. All right. Well, this has gone off the rails. Hey, you guys are calling in from international numbers. You guys got anything else for us?
Yeah, guys, I thought how great it is that we'll hear no more of this plane delay tomorrow morning, an excuse for anything as well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Good call. Yes,
Now listen, if the Buccaneers didn't go out and win today, how much would that have driven you crazy? They had a 7-hour plane delay. Look, we've all had to freaking sit on an airplane from time to time. It happens. You can't let it affect you. It's not an excuse.
Yeah. Every time my plane gets delayed and I have to play at the top tier and 2% in my sport afterwards, it never affects me.
10 hours late. Yeah, but you still have 10 hours to go home or to go to your hotel and rest.
And that's what I'm saying. It never affected me either.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no excuse. But you're right. That would have been the first thing BA would have talked about if we lost that game.
For sure. I think there's a guy that both me and Alex have been banging on about for weeks and weeks and weeks and months that whether it's a personal favourite or just a belief in that guy getting a job done, and like Cam Brate again this week, that every time he gets an opportunity, for me, he just seems to make something happen, and that's certainly someone that when we're in those situations when it's like what I classify as like a clear Cam Brate down, like I've got confidence that Cam Brate will make something happen rather than going to one of the random sort of Tanner Hudsons of the world and stuff.
I've always been a big Cam Brate fan. He gets open and catches the ball, period. That's what he does. He's not great on yak. I was flabbergasted he picked up that first down. Flabbergasted. I'm like, not only he shouldn't have picked it up, just, because he caught the ball 7 yards short of the sticks. But Cam Brate picked it up. Again, like you say, it's like, when you throw the ball to Cam Brate, good things happen. I remember I used to say that a couple of years ago, and it's nice to be able to say it again. And that was a lot harder, tougher catch that he made for the first score, than I think he's kind of getting credit for, because Brady was throwing heaters out there today.
Yeah,
he was throwing the ball too hard, too short. But hey, man, he threw 3 touchdowns and 365 and put up 50 million points. So throw as hard as you want to, Tommy.
Look, my favorite part of that Brate touchdown was after he got up after the touchdown, like he turned around and looked for the ball just so he could pick it up and do the Gronk spike.
Yeah.
And you guys tell me what you think. We all know how the Buccaneers social media team and their content team has just been on point. I need Cam Brate and Rob Gronkowski in a spike off. I need who does it better? And then at one point, somebody got the ball and they tossed it to Anthony Auclair, and he turned around, like he didn't even get the touchdown, but they gave it to him and let him do the Gronk spike. Like I need this as a competition, in my life right now. I really do.
That's definitely the next thing for the social media team. I'm still backing Gronk to pull off the best one, even with a slightly back shoulder as well.
I think the thing for me about Brate, I suppose, as well, is that I understand that he's not fast on a 40-yard dash, and he doesn't look like the most athletic guy you've ever seen. But there's a role in any team for a guy who's just reliable with a pair of hands. For me, and that's Cam Brate.
Adam Humphries is the same guy. Get open, catch the ball. I'm supposed to be right here. Here I am. Throw it to me. I'll catch it. I promise.
And I would say honestly, Cam Brate, a little bit like Rojo, like for the last bunch of years, we just haven't seen enough of them.
No,
we just haven't seen enough. Like they have not been utilizing Cam Brate because we've had the OJ Howard and we've had the Rob Gronkowski come in. Look, Cam Brate's fine. I know he's played injured and I know he's had all these other things, but give him the ball, throw him the ball. It's like Mike Evans, and I get it. There's only one ball to spread around, but I mean, just good night. He's that reliable with stuff, and the way he stretched out to grab that ball, and I didn't know that he was over the line at first. I really didn't, but I'm sure glad he came down with it. So, you guys got anything else for us?
Yeah, just a last thing, guys, and then we'll let you go. But JPP again. the conversation about him and Shaq Barrett, I think JPP having a much better season and a sack and the big interception today. So him coming up big for us when it mattered again today in the second half.
And realistically, that could have been 2 interceptions in 2 weeks as well. So, that's not traditionally something you're going to see out of that position. So I think he's playing at a high level, especially for a guy of, his age and his status on the roster.
Yeah, the 3-finger death pick.
I mean, Ren, you tweeted out or you put out a message at some point. I remember it was in the Collide app. You said, who says JPP shouldn't play in coverage or something like that?
I did not say that. I did not say that because JPP should not play in coverage.
Well, what did you say? You said
I said the 3-finger death pick.
Okay.
Like, because instead of the 3-finger death punch, it was a 3-finger death pick. But here's my question. Do you think both of them are playing well enough to bring them back? Shaq and JPP. Do you want them both back next year? Of course, it matters what the price is. Yeah, but it matters. Okay. 10
under contract.
Like, are they asking to get paid as top defensive ends? If yes, then no. Like, if Shaq Barrett's asking for the kind of money that he rightfully was asking for at the end of last season, that's not even a conversation. But if he's willing to go back to being a rotational piece, that's fine. I just don't know what his expectations are after being a sack leader last year. This is more of a humbling season for him and his agent this year, which works well for the Bucs. So if we're talking about the kind of money that either they're on now, then JPP more than Shaq for me at the moment, but I'm certainly not looking to pay Shaq Barrett.
But here's the thing, though. Think about how much career JPP has left versus how much Shaq has left. Shaq has so much more left to go, whereas JPP really is he's like on a 2-year rental every time we turn around. Now we've got JPP locked up for next year, so yes, I want JPP back for the price that we have him in his contract. For Shaq, I want him back. I don't want to break the bank, but look, if anybody can figure out how to make Shaq Barrett happy and keep us in a good cap position, it's going to be Jason Light and Mike Greenberg. And let's just listen, let's cross our fingers and hope that Mike Greenberg stays with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and doesn't get picked up as a GM for another team somewhere out there. Cause you got to know he's in line at some point.
What's your cap? Like I want Shaq back, but I won't pay him a penny more than this. And I want JPP back. I won't pay him a penny more than this. I'm not going to hold you to it.
I don't think you'd want to pay him any more than, I don't know. I mean,
I think JPP, like you say, Brent, comes back on, and we have him on contract to the end of next year. Then I wouldn't be surprised if JPP calls it a day and goes off to his nice home and retires. But Shaq, I don't know, maybe they go short term again, something around like even
come on $8 million.
$8 to $10 million for a year or two.
7-8 million.
No, I'd pay him way more than that.
He's spitting your.
I think if JPP gets
Golson makes 7.
Yeah, I think Shaq's
think
probably in the 12 to 14 range.
Yeah,
and that's probably low.
Like it depends how much you believe that last year was a one-off or not. That's ultimately the question, isn't it? That we all have is whether can he produce. No one's asking him to produce at 16 sacks. No one's asking that. But can he produce at near double-digit sacks? That's the ultimate question, isn't it? Because if he's not, is it worth paying him $12 million to contribute 5 or 6 sacks a season? Is he worth more than Will Golson at that position? I'm not sure. Like, obviously, Will Golson's not a main stud, but then if you're only getting 4 or 5 sacks a season, then neither are you at $12 million either.
I think.
Let's keep this question and ask it after week 16, week 17, maybe.
Fair enough.
There you go. There you go. All right, guys. You got anything else for us?
No, we'll let you guys get on. We know you're busy and popular, so we'll get out of your way.
Enjoy listening. Thanks as always, guys.
All right. Yeah, glad to get to talk to you guys. I know that time difference makes it a little hard from week to week, but we'll talk to you guys probably not next week, but definitely on a future week. Okay, guys?
That's great. Thank you very much.
Repping in the UK.
There you go. There we go. Always love the fact that we're an international show over here, Ren.
Yeah.
Hey, we're heading back out to the phone lines.
We're like a house of pancakes.
There you go. We got a caller. I think they're from Dallas, Texas. Who do we got here on the line with us? You're on the line with Brent and Ren for the Instant Cast.
Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on? It's Prime from Dallas.
Prime, what's going on, man? I saw you jump in the chat and then we lost you. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, man. I wanted to hop on video, but I'm out here driving and stuff, and it just was not working out.
Yeah.
So we just hit the phone line, man. It's good to talk to y'all again. Real talk.
Thank you.
Hey, this game, before I go to this game, with what y'all were just talking about as far as Shaq Barrett, he's not getting the sack numbers, but I think fans are, when they like $8 million or something to get Shaq, keep Shaq, they're being blinded by the fact that he doesn't have the gaudy sack. And like when the guys ask, hey, can he produce like he did last year? Like, so sacks, and I know you guys know this, but sacks are at least part circumstance and luck at times.
Right.
That's just the way they work. But if you go by pressure rate, like Shaq Barrett was producing at that pressure rate when he was in Denver. He just did not get the playing time. Right. This year, his pressure rate, I'll be honest, I haven't checked in like the last 2 weeks. But when I last looked at it, he still was producing at well above average pressure rate. What we're seeing in the defense, I think, with some of the problems we're seeing how important Vita Vea is.
Right.
If Shaq gets pressure from the edge, the quarterback just steps up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody in the middle who can collapse that punch. The edge rushers get home. Right now, they are just being ridden outside, and we can't get the pressure that it's just not happening.
Yeah, that was kind of the question I was going to ask the UK Buck guys. Next was, you don't just what Shaq is doing for the Buccaneers. He is high in pressure rate. Last time I saw, he was like top 3. But it's about how he plays the run.
Okay.
What responsibilities does he ask? How's he doing in coverage? Because they asked him to do a lot in coverage. Those are the things that are going to bring him back or not, and at what price. It's not necessarily the sacks. I'm kind of, to be honest, since we're winning, I'm kind of like happy that he's not going to 19.5 this year, or might end up like with 8 or 9 instead of like 12 or 13, because that's just going to drive his price down a little bit. Because I want him here, because I want him here, and I think he does a good job. But then after they sign him to a long, like a 3-4 year contract, then he's allowed to go ahead and get 20 and 22.
Here's the question I have about Shaq right now. And Prime, I'd love to get your thoughts on this. What does Shaq Barrett look like when JPP is no longer playing on the other side? Now, obviously, if we get another top-end person on the other side, fine. But what happens when Shaq Barrett is the star defensive end on this team?
Well, I to be honest with you, I think that's what's already true. I think that was true last year. JPP was hurt at one point last year. Shaq still produced. I think it's true this year. I think, and maybe you are in half the stats in front of you right now, but Shaq is dropping in coverage far more this year than he did last year.
Yeah.
For whatever the reason is, Foles has decided to put him in coverage more often than to let him just rush.
Right.
Can I give you an answer for that? Why I think that is, and you guys tell me if you think I'm wrong. Because we have guys like Devon White, Levante David, and he's sending those guys in blitzing, so he's pulling those defensive ends back for more coverage. Because we're sending these other, or even like an Antoine Winfield Jr., like sending those guys in, so we're having to drop these guys back a little bit more.
I can see that. You're probably right on that. Is there a way? So, are we then saying that last year our linebackers, that we did not blitz as much from the linebacker position?
I think that's true.
You know what I mean?
I think that's true.
We kept Shaq in.
I think we had Devon White as a rookie.
Okay.
We were still learning him. We were still feeling all that out, and Shaq Barrett was lighting it up. So you let that work, and don't forget, we were also missing JPP for the first 8 games of the season, right? Because he had that car wreck, which hurt his neck. Which, I mean, my God, that guy's come back from a blown up hand and a broken neck, and he's still producing at a high level. That's just insane. But yeah, no, I think that's exactly right. I don't think we were sending the linebackers as often because of that. Whereas we're sending it now. They knew what they had a little bit more, and here we go.
I think it has to do with a lot of everyone being in the defensive second year, and he can pull more out of, put more on everyone's plate, and sort of unpack his defense a little more. I don't like it when JPP and Shaq drop back in coverage. I think it's done more harm than good, but understand why they do it. Because Brent's right, is what they're still rushing for, but when you got like 9 guys lined up across the front of the line of scrimmage, and 4 go and 5 drop back, which 4, which 5 are dropping back. So I get that, be able to bring people off the edge or linebackers up the middle, and dropping JPP and Vita Vea and Will Golston and they all drop back. Sue, they all drop back at one time or another to play that zone defense underneath. So I think that has a lot to do with it too. But I want Shaq here, so we'll see when we kind of cross that bridge. I kind of derailed the pod asking that question to those guys, but so what did you see, or what are you happy about or not happy about on this Panthers game?
No, man. So obviously, man, ecstatic for a win, especially coming off of the crap from last week against the Saints. One of the things that I like, I want to give Bruce Arians credit. I want to give the coaching staff some credit, because last week I felt like the loss was on them more than anything. I thought it was a horribly coached game. And so this week I thought there were several things, could be small things, whatever, better decisions by the coaches. Arians, when Rojo fumbled, I think there were jokes all over online, everywhere. I was like, well, we'll see Rojo next week. Because that's how Arians has been, right? That you miss a block, you fumble, all of a sudden it doesn't matter if we only have, JPP's grandma back there to rush the ball, Rojo isn't getting back in the game.
Is Fournette JPP's
I
grandma?
like the fact that
was that what you're calling Fournette?
Hey, no. That's and I just forgot his name. Just got right behind Fournette. He rushes like JPP's grandma, Shady.
Fournette ain't much better, man.
Shady.
It was like 2nd and 1, and he tippy-toed all around the line of scrimmage. But yeah, I'm with you, man. Rojo needs to get the touches.
Fournette runs like he's like 180 pounds.
Yeah.
He runs like he's not a massive back.
Yeah.
It's the most frustrating thing in the world.
I don't think he's broken a tackle since he was a LSU Tiger.
If Fournette ran as hard as Rojo runs, he'd be a monster. He would be an absolute monster, like flat out. So I want to give Arians credit for not benching Rojo for the rest of the game.
Right. But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Your best rusher.
Prime, let me ask you this though. As far as that number 2 back, right? That guy who's going to come in and spell Rojo, that guy who's going to be that third down passing back or whatever. Who would you rather have, Fournette or Shady?
I'm gonna pull one of you and answer a different question.
Nice.
I don't understand.
How's that feel?
Sometimes I feel like a debate moderator. I'm going to ask you a question. You can spend your minute answering however you want. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. You've been doing it for 5 years to me. I phrased the question to paint you into a corner and make a hard decision, and you go, well, we're both fine.
I'm going to cutter you.
If I had to pick between the two, I would take. Unfortunately, I would have to take Fournette, only because as bad as Fournette has been, what we've seen from Shady has been even worse. And I don't know how it's worse, but somehow it's worse. So I would have to take Fournette, but I don't understand why Vaughn hasn't really seen much playing time since I think it was the first Panthers game or something.
He was inactive today.
He just hasn't seen much playing time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been active every week.
I didn't know he was active.
He's been active every week except for when Fournette and Shady were injured. And then he had
He's been inactive, you mean?
Yeah. No, did I say active?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been inactive. And then he threw in the ball and he fumbled it. But, the But it was so exciting to see how natural of a pass catcher he was when Brady hit him in the flat for the touchdown early, like week 3 or something. Because that was not an easy catch either, and he just made it look easy. And he kept his feet in bounds, and he knew where he was. He put his foot in the ground. He turned it up and just put it within the pylon. I was like, oh, okay, like I can get behind this. And then he fumbled one, and then Brady fired one off his helmet like a week or 2 later. And I was like, okay, this is not going to be good for him. But I'm with you. I was fully expecting not to see Rojo for, a couple of weeks after he fumbled his first touch or his second touch. And I'm glad that BA is realizing that they're just not the same back, And guess what? Fournette's dropping balls too. Like, it's time. I did this on the Buck and the News show when we had our guest on. It's like Fournette, Rojo, pick one. Because when you go with Fournette, nothing really happens. When you go with Rojo, things happen. Like go with Rojo, and you're gonna have to live with a drop every once in a while, and hopefully, he doesn't really have a fumbling issue. It's just he's had 2 recently, so it seems like a fumbling issue. I think that's his 3rd lost fumble, or maybe 3rd fumble altogether in his whole career. So he doesn't really have an issue with it.
Yep.
And I'm just like, ride Rojo, man. I'm telling you. Yeah. He's the Tampa version of Christian McCaffrey. Shaquan Jones. None of that's true.
But see, here's the thing about Vaughn, though. Because we have Fournette, because we have Shady, Vaughn doesn't have to go, right?
Yeah.
Like, he can have that sort of red shirt freshman year where he's learning and getting caught up to speed and working out and all that sort of stuff. Like, he doesn't have to go. And I think one thing that in all my following of the NFL, I've generally seen that when somebody gets a chance to not have to be pressed into service right away, that works out better for them. Some people are ready for it and they're good to go. But otherwise, it's okay to be a rookie. It's all right to be a rookie. They'll come along. Look at Kappa, right? Look at Rojo, honestly.
It's nice to have a roster where you can do that too.
Exactly. There it is. Exactly.
I would like to amend what you just said. I would like to amend what you just said.
Careful, Prime. You're already treading on thin ice, brother. What's up, man?
Hey, for everybody listening, if my call dropped, I didn't do that. It's not if. It's not. The question is not if. Or you said it's because we have Fournette, because we have Shady, we don't have to have Vaughn can like rest. That's not actually true, because just like we've been saying, Shady and Fournette are pretty much trash. So the truth of the matter is, because we're winning, we are winning in spite of Shady and Fournette. Because we're winning, we can let Vaughn continue to learn. If we were losing games, none of us would be okay with Vaughn being inactive and continuing to see Shady and Fournette. We would not be okay with that at all. But we keep winning, we're 7-3. So at 7-3, your 4th round running back, or 5th, I forget where he was, you're okay with him resting.
Third,
yeah.
round.
You keep saying we're seeing Shady. We haven't seen
go.
Shady in a long time. At least 2 or 3 weeks. So
yeah, this is the 4th week in a row where Shady hasn't played one offensive play.
Yeah. He may be playing special teams, but he's dressing. He's at least dressing. So, no, I get your Prime. Prime, you got anything else for us for tonight, buddy?
No, man. I'm glad to still win. Regardless, glad to see Tom Brady have the team bounce back, and actually glad to see weapons look like weapons on our offense. So,
yeah.
All of those things bode well, and looking forward to next week. And glad to talk to you guys again.
Thanks, Prime. Have a good one, buddy. We'll talk to you next week. All right, bud. All right, that was Prime, one of our frequent callers here at the PewterCast Live.
I'm calling Prime a friend.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. When was a good friend of the show, Prime is definitely in that category.
No, I mean like real life friend.
A real life friend. I like that. Yeah,
yeah,
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree. I like Prime.
I've noticed that if you laugh at my jokes, I like you a lot quicker. I warm up a lot quicker. It's probably the megalomaniac narcissist in me.
The narcissist. Remember that review? We got that one.
Yeah.
Brent didn't know shit about football, and Ren's a narcissist.
Bingo, you nailed it.
That's the magic of the show, folks. That's it right there. All right, Ren. Well, man, hey, listen, that's going to do it for us today for the PewterCast Live. You got any final thoughts before we wrap up the show here?
Death taxes, Bucs win. No, I mean, it was great, man. You know, there's nothing really to complain about. The defense started off a little slow. I know there was a lot of, what can you say? I guess talk around how the Bucs offense the past couple of weeks hasn't got off to the fast start they did the first couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I think they kind of buried that, you know, the second half defensive effort, you know, going to put everyone's worries about the defense at least till they play another game.
Right.
And somebody misses one tackle and then, you know, we'll be clamoring for somebody else. But yeah, the only thing that I saw today that I did not like was, besides special teams, besides that, was Brady missed a lot of deep balls, wide open deep balls.
He did.
He
could get them down there. His accuracy just wasn't there, but he could get them there.
Yeah. He overthrew all of them.
Yeah.
Badly.
Yeah.
So, but again,
there was one to Mike.
Yeah.
Where the ball was just way behind. I mean, they were not. Brady did not put it where Mike was going to be at all.
He put
Didn't
it
even
like
come close.
It landed out of bounds. Are you talking about the one he threw in the end zone?
No, I'm talking. No, he was in the middle of the field.
Oh,
there was one in the middle of the field. They just threw right behind him, like kind of threw it between him and the defender as they were running. Mike, it was just
yeah. And now we're talking about that that pass to Chris Godwin. How did that not get picked off? Like that was
the one where he went through like 3 defenders and they all missed it and it found Chris. He got lucky. Honestly, they got lucky.
Yeah, they did. Okay,
because that would have been like, I was thinking in the moment when I saw that, I was like, man, if that was Jameis Winston, like even if it didn't get picked off, they'd be like, oh, that was an intercept. That was an interceptable ball.
It wasn't an interceptable ball.
Sure it was, but they would have pointed it out with that guy. You know, now we're just like, man, he threaded that needle right there.
He threaded the needle. Wow, the best pass I've ever seen.
I know. No, they got lucky. So
yeah, that was
all right, folks.
That was the dumbest pass I've seen in a while from Tom Brady.
It was not his best decision. It worked out, not his best decision. So, all right, folks. Well, hey, listen, that's going to do it for us on this edition of the PewterCast Live. We'll be back later this week with a new midweek show, kind of giving us a break from all the humdrum of everything that's at. But don't worry, we'll be back at the end of the week for Buck in the News. We're going to wrap up everything that's going to happen this week at One Buck Place. We'll also talk about the injury report. We'll preview the game. We're not really previewing the game, but we'll talk about things that we're looking forward to in the upcoming game against the Rams on Monday night, and all of that. So you guys make sure you stay tuned to us here at the PewterCast. Ren, why don't you tell the folks where they can find you out there on the internet?
I got a idea for Wednesday's show topic.
All right.
Dumbest callers.
Let's put that in the hopper and see what happens.
We'll put a pin in that and come back to it never. I was just kidding anyway. I don't know. No, we don't have any dumb callers lately this year.
Okay, there you go.
It's been a while. Anyway,
yeah.
Best place to find me.
I'm sorry. You know what we've gotten a lot of feedback on this week is the top 10 media show that we did.
Yeah, well,
we've had a lot of feedback, like, and it's all been positive. Well, except for one, it's all been positive.
Yeah,
so it's a good show. Good show.
I keep telling you, man. Like, I come to you with ideas, and you're like,
I'm sorry. Hey, before I go, Joey, thank you so much in the chat room for reminding me. Swords and Skulls, right?
Oh,
we didn't do Swords and Skulls.
Oh, God.
So go ahead and well, here, Joey pulled it out there, so I'll put his up there. He says Rojo and Jamel Dean, sword for Rojo and the skull for Jamel Dean. Ren, what do you got this week?
Well,
for Swords and Skulls.
Rojo has to get the sword.
He popped it. He broke. I mean, it turned the tide of the game, right?
Yeah. He has to get the sword. You could give it to Tom Brady. Had a great game.
Sure.
Skull. I'm giving Keith Armstrong, and it's long deserved.
Yeah.
We should send him a skull.
Just
make him wear it around practice.
There you go.
Like Mardi Gras beads.
There you go. Make him wear it like Flavor Flav clock right there.
Yeah. My coaching sucks.
Yeah. There you go.
On the PewterCast.
There you go. For the record, I wrote mine down before the show. If anyone can see that on the thing, it says sword goes to Rojo. Kind of like you, Ren. My skull is to special teams. I didn't specifically say Keith Armstrong, but that's exactly what I was meaning. was because I couldn't remember his name in the moment, quite frankly. So yeah, Swords and Skulls. That's who we got. Ren, who did you have as your predictive MVP this week?
I picked Carlton Davis.
Oh, how'd that work out for you?
I don't know. How'd he do?
He
gave that deep one.
He let a few go, and he had a pass. He had one of the passes defended. They didn't seem to throw to him a whole lot this week.
Yeah.
I think it was 3-4
going on. I was going on. I was thinking Panthers were going to put up some points, but none of them were going to be on.
Right.
Carlton, I was going to sneak him in there. Like, well, he didn't do anything wrong. Yeah. But it was something I forgot to say when one of the callers were talking. It was nice to see some passes contested this week instead of a guy catching the ball and no one around him for 4 yards and then coming up and make the tackle or chasing him down and make the tackle. Right. But I do not like how the other teams, all their players are fighting for extra yards and getting them. You know, I haven't seen sort of someone when the defender comes up to stop the ball carrier or receiver, they get 2 to 3 to 4 more yards consistently.
Right.
Instead of like, boom, he makes the hit, doesn't go any further. So that's my skull. All
right. Tell the folks where they can find you out there on the internet.
I had time to talk about that earlier, Brent. Is that what the? Yeah. Okay. Continue. Okay. You're done. Okay. Fine. Okay. Fine. That's nice. Best place to find me on the internet is on Twitter at Rendax, REN_DAXT. I'm always down to talk Buccaneers. Pew, pew. Football.
It is so much nicer when you actually look into the camera. Or towards
How can you tell with the glare on my glasses?
Because the glare goes off your glasses when you look at the camera.
Oh, you can see.
It's good to see your eyes. It's actually good to see your
eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the glare.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm looking. That's why Jameis Winston. Me and Jameis Winston. That's why we got the visor on. Can't read my eye.
There you go. We need to get you LASIK, my friend. If you guys want to get in touch with me, you can find me at Brent Allen Live across all the social medias. And the show is at the PewterCast on Twitter and on Facebook. You guys can find the email address at thepewtercast@gmail.com. Find us out there on the World Wide Web at thepewtercast.live and all the fun ways you can get in contact with us. You keep up with us. You can find everywhere that you can find the PewterCast. If you prefer us on the podcast feed, which podcasting app you want to watch the video, you can go back and do that. Everything's right out there. You can even leave us a voicemail now on right there directly on the webpage. So you guys go out there and do that. Thepewtercast.live. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Lots of stuff going on over there. So
strongly worded voicemail about my co-host.
There you go. Do it. Yeah. Keep it to 60 seconds less. We may play it on a future episode of the PewterCast.
Really?
Yes, we may.
Emails at all this year?
Yeah, we've had a handful. Oh, okay. We've had a handful. We haven't been asking for them a ton. Like, we haven't been doing the thing. Anyway, out of all that, guys, until next time, go Bucs.